General Van Herk, let's keep talking about the Arctic then. During your posture hearing last year, I asked you about the Coast Guard's authorization to build 6 new icebreakers, and I appreciated your response in support of these ships. But as we all know, they cannot operate in the high north without fuel and supplies. Currently, the farthest north deepwater port we have is Dutch Harbor. On the other hand, Nome, Alaska, nearly 800 miles north of Dutch Harbor, has been granted money to dredge and develop a port in order to provide services to deep draft ships. How would additional icebreakers and the development of the port in Nome enable NORTHCOM to accomplish your mission in the Arctic?
Thanks, Senator. First, the 6 icebreakers that are on plan for the Coast Guard are crucial to enabling persistence to operate within the Arctic. Persistence is also enabled by having fuel capability further north than currently in Dutch Harbor, in Nome, as you alluded to. That allows either the Coast Guard, through their cutters, or their icebreakers, or Navy vessels to remain more persistent. That's strategically important to that location. I would like to clarify one thing. The Infrastructure and Jobs Act that was just passed provided about $250 million for the Port of Nome. The dredging portion of that is not currently funded, and it would require that dredging from a 30-foot depth to 40-foot for these vessels that we're talking about to get in there. We're going to work closely to make sure we can get that additional funding for that persistence I need.
So the additional funding is not adequate unless we get the dredging done.
It is certainly adequate for commercial operations, benefit from the local communities, indigenous people in Alaska, absolutely. For military use, we have to get the additional dredging. That's correct.
Okay. Let me switch to General Richardson. The Navy Small Craft Instruction and Technical Training School, NAVSCIATS, provides training to partner nations from every combatant command. To date, the school has trained over 13,000 students from more than 120 partner nations. What's the importance of keeping NAVSCIATS? What are the potential risks in terms of international support and partnerships should its capacity be reduced?
Well, thank you for the question, Senator, because NAVSCIATS is a force multiplier. And it's for all of our nations. As you said, 123 partner nations utilize this school, over 13,000 trained. This school has been open for 52 years, and quite honestly, what it does, low level, it's pennies to operate. You talk about a low cost, high return on investment, this is it. And quite honestly, if you think about it, the U.S. Navy has big ships. Other nations, there are very few other nations that have really big vessels. And most of the other navies and coast guards from the other partner nation militaries, as well as the coast guards, have smaller vessels. You talk about the Amazon, they don't have highways, they have rivers. And they need the training, they need their smaller vessels to get this training, and it's absolutely critical to our security cooperation and helping build our defense forces and our militaries and naval maritime operations.
I do appreciate that. Let me follow up on an engagement that Senator Inhofe and Senator Gillibrand had with you. I think the discussion with Senator Inhofe was like-minded democracies in SOUTHCOM working with us. Senator Gillibrand asked about engaging with elected governments. Let me just mention that the Organization of American States is based here in Washington, D.C., is the only multilateral organization that includes every country in the Western Hemisphere except for Cuba. And I would point out to my colleagues that in 2020, President Trump signed into law the Organization of American States Legislative Engagement Act. Senator Cardin and I were leaders in this effort, just as we have tried to enhance our participation with European parliamentarians, both in and out of majorities in government in Europe through the OSCE. Do you agree that moving to a parliamentary assembly, as the Trump law anticipates, would be a positive and could promote cooperation in a variety of government and security issues.
Senator, I think that increased engagement in this AOR can be nothing but good. I can only cover so much. Our Department of State can only cover so much. And with a program, a strategy, a focus on this area, as I said in my opening statement, can only be more goodness, because out of 31 countries and 16 dependencies in the Caribbean, it's a lot of ground to cover. And I would certainly welcome the focus and the attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.